Ready? Okay, that said, I would like to welcome, for a welcoming address, Dr. Melina Hills, Vice President of Space Operations of the Aerospace Corporation.
Thank you. Thank you all for getting up and getting over here in the rain, nice and early. I know some software developers like to stay up very late, so thank you very much. Maybe you stayed up all night. I wanted to welcome you to the 8th Annual International Flight Software Workshop, and I wanted to thank both our corporate sponsors as well as our colleagues in Johns Hopkins University, APL, Southwest Research Institute, and Jet Propulsion Laboratory. And I'd also like to thank Caltech for hosting us here at the beautiful Beckman Institute. For those of you who attended the workshop in the past, welcome back. You know more than anyone how incredible this program is. For those of you attending for the first time, welcome. We hope you'll find the workshop informative and inspiring. The next few days at Caltech will provide all of you with an arena for discussion, creativity, and communication as you share with and learn from an exceptional group of flight software professionals. So being here today is kind of a homecoming for me. I got my doctorate here in Caltech back in 1987. I had a PDP-11 in my lab with 8-inch floppy drives and monster analog-to-digital converters and digital-to-analog converters. I programmed in Forth and in Fortran. So things have changed over the years quite a bit for the better. I haven't done a lot of programming, but software has become a much larger part of my life. So at the Aerospace Corporation, I'm in charge of all the satellite development programs. So that includes GPS, the communication satellites, the weather satellites, the missile warning satellites, and the space superiority satellites. So my group is responsible for systems engineering and mission assurance, and our goal is 100% mission success. Because of my job, I see flight software through the eyes of both an acquirer and a user. So the acquirer in me is the one that wants to set up the acquisition to run very smoothly from the beginning, right? I want the software architecture defined well before coding. I want to thoroughly test and verify the code. And in general, I want to make sure the software works the way it was. Well, it functions with the spacecraft and with the overall system as intended. So these are very person-intensive tasks, and they each have their own unique set of challenges. So the user in me is the one that comes in at nights and weekends when there's an anomaly on a spacecraft, right? So sometimes I think that somebody has written code in the flight software that ensures that off-nominal telemetry only comes down during non-business working hours, because I seem to come in on the weekends a lot. And to understand these anomalies, that requires me to work to understand in detail how the flight software on these different space systems works, what the fault management system has done to respond to the anomaly, how the telemetry relates to the sequence of events that occurred on the spacecraft, and what we're going to do in order to save the satellite. So my challenge to each of you is to create a better future for all of us who depend upon spacecraft flight software. I don't need to tell you how fast technology is progressing, including when it comes to modern space systems. So this kind of fast-paced technological progress, while tremendously exciting, is always accompanied by a host of technological challenges. So for those of you on the front lines of innovation, flight software professionals, that is your challenge this week. In particular, there's two primary areas that we need to dramatically improve in order to get to where we need to be. These include flight software commonality and model-based development. Increased commonality promises smoother acquisitions, lower lifecycle costs, greater development simplicity, and better mission assurance. Imagine how wonderful it would be to rely on a common set of flight software and then develop the mission-unique applications on top of it. Commonality that has been proven on other missions can reduce technical risks and greatly improve the program manager's confidence in the flight software. In short, commonality can reduce the probability that I'll be coming into the office on the weekends in jeans, t-shirts, maybe a baseball cap if it's raining, in order to work an anomaly, which would be a great thing. The second area of interest is model-based development. Oh, I have a question. I'm not, no PowerPoint. It's just me. I know, it's kind of unusual for me too. So the second area of interest I wanted to talk about was model-based development. So I've had some experience with model-based development at SMC, Space and Missile Systems Center. We've used it on some of our programs. And what we've found is it does a great job in communicating the architecture. What is lacking is a set of tools that allow for the other piece, the verification and the other system engineering activities. Those are lagging. So advances in model-based software development will clearly benefit both developers and acquirers. There are many fascinating topics that I'm sure you'll explore in the days ahead, but it's imperative that commonality and model-based development factor significantly into your discussions. Both provide tremendous opportunities for progress and innovation in our field. Before I finish, I'd like to reemphasize the fact that mission success is increasingly tied to your work. All of the exciting technological progress that is taking place in space is dependent on the availability of effective and efficient flight software. Mission success is in your hands. With that said, I'd like to welcome you all to the workshop and look forward to hearing about the results that are forthcoming. I hope you enjoy the next few days. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Hills.